Hello, welcome back. So we're going to carry on with our sweater. So where I left you last time was we were doing the increases for the raglan sleeve. And so on the instructions, it asks us that when we have finished the raglan increases, we should have, in my case because I'm doing the second sizer, I should have 272 stitches on there. So I've counted around to make sure I'm correct with my stitches, and it also says the piece should measure 23 centimeters from the shoulder. So I measured mine and mine wasn't correct. When I did my gauge swatch, I knew that I was going to be short because I didn't have the right amount of rows for what I needed. So I expected this. So all I've done is carry on. So where I finished the raglan increases, you can see there is the raglan increases. So then I just did some plain knit rows. So this is going to be sort of going towards under your armpit, so it's really not going to matter. So if you have not got the right length, then please do a few more rows so you are right. I'm 5'8", so I need to make sure that it's going to be long enough, because this is going to stop for your sleeve and we're going to join up under the arm. So this is in fact going to be where your armhole is. So you really need to have the right length so it's comfortable to wear. When you do measure it, it says on the pattern that it's, pull this over again. So here you might be able to see I only had 20 centimeters, not 23, and it says from the shoulder. So when you measure yours, don't measure it from the cast on edge, measure it from your shoulder. So it's like at the bottom of that ribbon. That's the length between there and there. It's not from here. So don't do that length, do it that length. So just to check to make sure it is right, because I think some other people have found this as well, that it is coming up short. So just check, just do a few more rows until you have got the correct number, until it measures the correct amount. So if you're correct, ready to go to the next section, we are going to be dividing the sleeves off so we can come to those later and carrying on just with the body. So for this, if you have some stitch holders, you can use those. I am going to use just some thread. I prefer this because it's just soft, and I've just find it's nicer to have that at the sides. If you're going to use this method, you're going to need a needle with a large eye, so you can just get some spare yarn in it, and then I'm just going to thread this through, which I'll show later. So first of all we need to do is your starting point should be at your centre back. That is the beginning of the row for us. And we're just going to knit around to the next marker. So on here, just to show you on the instructions, work the first 37 stitches, which is half of the back piece, slip the next 56 stitches. This is all highlighted for my size, you need to highlight for your size. So slip the next 62 stitches on a holder, that's going to be your sleeve. Then cast on 8 stitches for underneath, so you have room for movement. Because you're going to be taking a chunk out, you just want a few stitches to join underneath, so it's going to give you that extra room for movement under the sleeve. So let's carry on and just knit along. So we're just knitting to that first marker. If you are experiencing any problems, please let me know in the comments below so I can help. If I have missed your comment over the Christmas period, please ask me again. I tried to answer the questions, but if I have missed any, please forgive me and just ask again, and I shall do what I can to help you. So just knitting across here. We will be taking these stitch markers out, but we will always leave that first stitch marker in to show where the beginning of the row is, unless we get told that the beginning of the row is going to change for any reason. we always keep that one in. So we're up to the marker. So I'm going to take that one out, we don't need that anymore. So making sure that the other side is nicely back so we're not going to lose any stitches, we are just literally going to just pick up all those stitches onto that needle. So you're just transferring them over, making sure you don't lose any. We don't want any casualties. So just moving all those over. Do make sure that you have plenty of spare thread. As I say, we don't want any lost off the edge. And we're just going to pick up just all these sleeve stitches. So our row is going to get a lot shorter than it has been. So just take your time, don't rush it, especially if you're using this yarn, it is quite furry. It's not so easy as more of a twisted one. Just coming up to the end. So I'm just going to take that marker out. I'm going to use that in a moment. So making sure those stitches are safe. We're going to pull that needle through. Keep an eye on your other end. And pull the needle off. And then just tie a knot in those. And they are safe, so they are your stitches now for your sleeve. So now in the instructions it's asking us to cast on 8 new stitches under the sleeve. Insert a marker into the middle of these new stitches. So we need to cast on 4 stitches and then insert a marker and then cast on another 4. So if we turn the work around, so we're facing inside of the work, we can literally just go in with a purl stitch and place it on. So it's 1, 2. So we're just doing it like a normal cast on we did when we started, but we're just doing a purl. Putting it on, 3, 4. Put our stitch marker back on, and then we need to do another 4. So that stitch marker is now nicely in the way. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've cast on 8 stitches with a marker in between them. So if we turn it back round the right way, there is our extra stitches that we've cast on. Take it back a little bit so you can see. Our arm, and then we've done the stitches coming across to join up to the other side. Asking us to work the next 74 stitches for my size, which is the front piece, and then we're going straight over to the sleeves the other side. So we're going to just bring in the yarn in the right place, knit right across that front. Now the reason we've got a marker in the middle of those stitches is because we're going to do some decreases for some waist shaping. So that is why that marker's been placed there, just so we know where the centre is to go down. If we had a side seam, then that's where the side seam would be. So we're going to be using that later on. So I shall speed this up a little bit to get to the other side for you. So we're just coming up to that marker again. So we're going to take that one out when we get there. And just put it to the side so we can use it again in a moment. So that one comes out. And we're going to push those stitches down to keep them safe. And to thread my needle with the spare yarn. And then we're going to take these sleeve stitches onto the needle. So being really careful to pick them all up. You don't have to do them like this, you can do them individually if you feel more control like that. Just go at your own speed. Remember, you can always stop this video, go at your own speed and then turn it back on again, or rewind a little bit. This is your video that you can work as what is right for you. Don't feel that you're keeping up with my pace. It's under your control, so just use it how you need to use it. If something doesn't make sense, have a little read of the pattern and go over what I've said again and see if that helps. But as I said, I'm always there if you want to ask a question. I'll get back to you quickly as possible. I know what it's like when you want to get on with a project and something's stopping you. And it's so easy to lose momentum, so I do like to get back to you as soon as possible. So I'm at the end there, so pull that through, take that one off. Keep an eye on your other side, make sure you've got enough yarn. You can see I have plenty here. It's only cheap scrap yarn, so I don't mind having far too much. There's that knot there, so that's safe on there, and it can spread out as much as it wants to then. And then we are going to turn it around because we need to do those extra stitches, those 8 cast on stitches on the back of here as well. So we're going to do as if to purl 4, and then just pop it on 1, 2, 3, oh, missed that one, 3, 4, and then place one of your markers for that side seam, and then we're going to do 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then turn yourself back round to the front, and you've made that little bridge that's going to go across and join up where your sleeve is. You knit across the remaining stitches to the beginning of the row, so this is the other half of the back, because our beginning of row is in the centre back. we're just going to go along here. Just coming up to that centre back now. Across, as always, I always do a couple of stitches, 1 or 2 stitches, just hold that marker in. So there we are. So at the moment, careful I don't lose them because I have very small cord. That's how I like to work, smaller than is traditional. So now we've got our cushion, we've got those increases, then we've got our sleeves here divided off, and so now all we have on here is for our body section. And I should have 164 stitches on my round, so I need to just continue with knit stitch, stocking stitch, until it measures 4 centimeters. So I think this is a good place to end at the moment. We should do our 4 centimeters straight, and then I'll see you in the next video where we'll start doing our decreases to go down to the waist shaping. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're getting on well with your sweater. Please tag me on Simply in Stitches on Instagram if you have pictures that you can share. I would love to see how you're getting on. So take care, I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.